Thanks for watching Afternoon Live. Have you ever met someone who everybody just wants to be around? Our next guest is here to help you become that person. Here with the secrets to being more likable, we welcome the author of The Emotional Marine, Rittmeyer. Thanks for being with us today.
Anna, thanks for having me. They're big shoes to fill, and everybody's going to be expecting this big stuff here. I gotta be careful.
For sure. Hey, so before we get into your advice, you have really good stuff to share, but tell me more about that title, The Emotional Marine, and what that means.
Yeah, so it's a little play on words. I published that book back in 2019, and it was the emotional intelligence piece plus the Marine Corps piece. I was in the Marine Corps. So the Emotional Marine was just born, and it's a simple guide that anyone can use to just learn some really basic tips to connect with people. You know, as humans, we're hardwired to feel first and think later. We're emotional creatures. The whole book is just about things anyone can learn how to do to make connections.
And what inspired you to want to write this and put it out to the world and help other people?
Yeah, I just realized, something for me, Hannah, like growing up, I feel like I'm one of these people who feels like everybody's born with this gift, whether it be artistic ability or athleticism or whatever. I never really recognized what it was that I was born with until I was actually in the Marine Corps. And I realized that what I was born with, my gift was the ability to connect with people. And I just felt like there were very simple things anyone can do to have deeper relationships, and not just with the people that we're married to or in relationships with, but also strangers, people we meet walking down the street, co-workers, family members, just across the board, deep, meaningful relationships.
That's beautiful. So you say that you've noticed in your experiences that successful people are those who are able to make those connections really quickly, which brings us to the smile factor. Can you kind of walk us through the acronym and what all those things mean?
Yeah, so the smile factor kind of came from just this. It was a little goofy and silly. I'm a former Marine, so the whole reading and writing thing's a little difficult for me. So we always try to come up with these little terms. I came up with the smile factor. Each letter stands for something different, just basic things that we can do. The S stands for show me respect. And this is when we meet someone, show that person basic respect. This is not yes, sir, and no, ma'am. This is giving them undivided attention. Let them finish their statement. Don't cut them off. Hear them out. Don't look at your watch. Don't look at your phone. The M is make it all about me. And what great way to do that is to use another acronym called FROM, which stands for family, recreation, occupation, motivation. When you meet with someone, try to find something you have in common with them in one of those four fields, and then ask more questions, learn more about them. Now, critically important in this one, it has to be sincere, it has to be authentic. The minute you try to come across as being someone who's not real, it's gonna look very, very bad on you, and that person's gonna turn and run the opposite way.
You can tell right away when somebody's putting on airs like that.
You sure can. This is what I'm very cautious of. For a lot of people, like, oh, Eric, show me how to do this, and how do you do that, and what do you do? And I'm like, look, before I get into any of these things, you have to make sure it comes from a good place, because if not, if it looks like you're trying to get something from that person, it's going to totally backfire. The I is a really good one too. Make me feel important. What's one great way to make people feel important? Use their name, Hannah. Everybody loves to hear their name. It's the most beautiful word in the language to us. Make that person feel like the world revolves around them. The L, this is really the easiest one. I think this is the low-lying fruit. Make me laugh, right? This is just, I tell dad jokes. As a matter of fact, I got a dad joke for you. You ready for this one?
Yes, please.
What did the janitor say when he jumped out of the closet?
I don't know.
Supplies. Yeah. It's a dad joke. It's
I love
dumb,
a good dad joke. Nothing wrong with that. That's good, clean fun. Good, clean fun. Get it?
It's good, clean fun. I would tell you, I will decrease your IQ by 30%. Hang out with me long enough. That's the L. It's make me laugh. It's the universal language. Everyone knows laughter. And then the E, the last one, a little more difficult, but we can learn how to do this too. It's earn my trust. What's one great way to start earning trust with someone? Be a better listener. As humans, unfortunately, we listen with the intent to reply, not with the intent to understand. If we can make people feel like we're truly listening to them, to try to learn more, to truly recognize where they're coming from, it builds almost instantaneous connections with them.
Do you have advice for folks who say, this all looks great on paper, I'm a really shy person, I get nervous in new interactions? How can we kind of put ourselves out there and be a little bit vulnerable to make these connections?
I think the important piece here, Hannah, is just being who you are. right? It's not trying to change who you are if you're shy, if you're introverted, whatever. And by all means, this little acronym I came up with, not saying you have to do all these things at all times. It's just kind of recognizing and being aware enough to understand that the people that we meet that we really, really like, they do some really basic things. And again, we all just want to be happy. We all just want to be silly. It's a Hakuna Matata, right? Especially in a time when everybody's so upset and so angry. Be who you are at the core of it, and then just add these little things in as you go along.
That makes sense. Hey, like, do you have a go-to question? Say you're at a gathering, maybe social, maybe work-related, you're meeting somebody for the first time. Do you have go-to questions to open them up that are not kind of like the standard thing that we always hear all the time?
You know, it's really nothing crazy. My most simplest, easiest way is, how are you? You know, it's really simple stuff like, how are you? That's really just the best way to start off with. We don't pay any attention to other people, and we have to be really cautious too, because a lot of times if people sense that where we're coming at them from, especially networking events and things like that, if you're truly authentically trying to find out how somebody feels, ask them how they are, and then listen to what they say. This is so critically important. If there's nothing else I would say to get good at, it's being a better listener. It gets you through adversity. It helps you deal with opposing points of view. And most importantly, it builds deep, meaningful relationships.
And I always find too, when you do open up like that, we all have so many shared experiences, even people that you would never think have been through something similar to you. And oftentimes folks like that you meet at work or maybe socially, they can actually help you with something that you're struggling with if you're open and say, hey, you know, I'm actually having a hard time with this specific topic right now.
We're all hardwired the same exact way, right? We all know the old phrase, people will forget the things you say, they'll forget the things you do, but they'll never forget the way you made them feel. Get better at being a people person. Get better at recognizing that we all have our own struggles. Not everyone's going to show it the same way, but just come from a place of kindness. Again, we're hardwired to be kind. If someone's angry, if someone's upset, if someone's rude, that really is just a sign of them, their coping mechanisms to deal in their natural environment. Just be cool to everybody. Just be nice to the person next to you and authentically care about others. Not difficult to do.
Yeah, we got to give each other grace. Hey, thank you so much, Eric. It was great talking with you.
Hannah, happy Valentine's Day to you. Thank you for having me.
Happy Valentine's Day. The book again is The Emotional Marine, and we'll have more information on our website at katu.com. We'll be right back with more Afternoon Live right after this.